Hennessy Sports now bring you a scheduled 6 rounds of boxing in the super welterweight division. Timekeeper ringside is Martin Fallon from Wolverhampton. Upon the sound of the bell, the scoring referee is star referee Victor Loughlin from Barhead, Scotland. Boxing out of the blue corner, on the scales at 11 stone 2 pounds even. Standing in the ring this evening with 2 professional career victories and wearing the black and grey shorts. Boxing out of Hyde, Greater Manchester. Introducing the choir boy, Dale Arrowsmith. And across the ring, boxing out of the red corner, wearing white shorts trimmed with black. He stands in the ring with 4 professional career victories and scaled at 11 stone 2 pounds. Boxing out of Seven Oaks, Kent, introducing Michael Hennessy Jr.
For the first round.
Well, this is going to be a big psychological task for Michael Hennessy Jr, having suffered his first defeat against Jamie Stewart in September and was really heartbroken after that, and maybe even considering his future a little bit. Well, he's back. He's going to fight next week as well, and he's opened up behind his jab here against Dale Arrowsmith, who's lost his last 21. Stopped just 4 times in 38 defeats. And feels like a big night this, George, for Hennessy Jr.
Yeah, it will be. Like, after your first loss, especially early on in his career when he's not expecting, he's going to have to put some demons to rest, and he's going to want to go out and put a good performance in today, but he's going to have to have a clever head on his shoulders. He wants to start sharp, nice, sharp, fast first round. Establish himself in the fight and then build from it, and as I say, put that defeat to bed.
Absolutely. I think the criticism of him against Stewart as well as throughout his amateur career the same, is that he tends to get drawn into fights, and he's a good amateur. Box behind that jab, judge that distance and use that reach advantage as well, and they want to encourage him, Richie, to do that a little bit more and not get drawn into a scrap every time.
One of his problems, young Hennessy Jr, is he just holds his feet for a split second too long after he's delivered his shots. He works well with his jab and he's got some lovely work at long range, but occasionally he just holds the feet. Look, there's an example. So he throws some good shots, but just holds the feet, and then he takes what's coming back at him. But when he boxes behind his jab like that and keeps that gap, yeah, he's very good. I think he's been very unlucky through his career in terms of, I didn't think he lost the defeat he had. I thought he won the contest. And the one in Saudi that he got the draw, I was amazed. I thought he won that one as well. So, yeah, I think he's been a little bit hard done by, but he'll learn from both of them.
Yeah, that was against Farhad Hatradsada over 4 rounds, which George always tells us is a dangerous distance, and Hennessy Jr found that out in Saudi Arabia. He started well here, though.
He is, yeah. The first round is good. The jab's working well. Great observation from Richie that there is that slight hesitation, that slight pause after he punches, and that's the only time when he's getting caught, is where he stayed in range, but he hasn't got the mindset of being in range. I like fighters when they're starting off at this stage of their career. You always wonder how much emphasis are they putting on the defence, as in punch and defend. Is defensive move, is it a head move, is it a foot position? I mean, he's done it there perfectly. He let his hands go, saw the shot coming, made the defence. But you can do that without even the shot coming back and make it your second nature.
Well, first round back for Hennessy Jr, and it's a bright one against Dale Arrowsmith.
Holding through the gears a little bit more now. Yeah. When he shoots, he holds that double jump. And then when he steps off puts him back. Steps, then wait and go. You know what I mean? I don't think that hold the hand right as well. You've got to drop the body first, stick that double into his arm, then drop that right hand in every single time to spit it out. You've got him doing 2 stage attacks, it's the only way to score, because just going to keep you at range without punch at range. what he says about punishing the misses? Punish the misses. Every time he misses, he's wide open. Junior's told you to punish those. Everything else was great, yeah? Good lad.
Yeah, the voice there of
Bonus,
John
10
Pegg
seconds.
giving Hennessy Jr. a little bit of advice.
Seconds out, round 2.
Do a lot worse than listen to him. Great wise man of Midlands boxing. Second round here then between Michael Hennessy Jr. in those white and black shorts against Dale Arrowsmith from Hyde in Greater Manchester. The other thing you want to see, Richie, of course, as you watch your career as we're doing with Hennessy Jr., is to see improvements as well.
Yeah, see improvements. You know, George hit it on the head about the defence and that. This game's about hitting the opponent and not getting hit at the end of the day. So the defending is just as important. See, that was better from Hennessy, the way he moved back. But this is a decent opponent again. You know, Arrowsmith, he hasn't just come for the money here. He's come to compete, he's come to win himself, and these are the contests that you learn from. It's no good hitting the opponent and him going over and nothing's coming back. Look at this Arrowsmith, he's coming back with some good shots there himself, and that will make young Hennessy learn and sit up a little bit.
Prior to the defeat by Stewart, he'd beaten Tom Brennan here at this venue in Redditch, over 6 by just a point. And maybe we should have seen the setback coming, because that's another criticism of him, is that, stupid though it sounds, he's not doing enough in contests to impress the referees, do things that they like, and when they're scoring these fights it can be a little bit dangerous, as he found out against Jamie Stewart.
I think Hennessy, you know, he undoes a lot of his good work that he does at range, mid and long range, behind that jab. Like I say, he just sometimes, I mean, that's lovely work that is, just with the jab, and then he's moved his feet. That's how he should be boxing. But just now and again, look at that, just holds his feet after he's punched and just allows the opponent to come back, and he's got to try and cut that out.
Final minute of round 2, and in terms of ironing out these faults, George, it's just hard work, is it?
Well, yeah, you know, you want to be working on all different aspects of your game, in the gym, on your pad work with your coach, and then put that into sparring, and then try and get some real life experience during competitive fights. It's the toughest thing in the world. It's the last phase is to be in a real fight and be in the mix, be within punching range with the little gloves on, and make sure you're finishing the exchanges so it looks like you're in control, or, you know, slipping and sliding in between shots, you know, to not be a static target for the guys to punch back at. There's going to be so many things for him to work on, and just having that confidence and that composure to go out and perform.
Well, he's young, just 21, and he's in a contest here against Arrowsmith, but he's doing enough. At least he hopes so. Michael Hennessy Jr. should be another round in the bag for him there.
Listen now, really good work. What I want you to do now.
Yeah, some good work again from Hennessy. Look, working with the jab there and maintaining that gap. That's what he should be concentrating on a little bit more, doing that type of work. Because you're hitting, you're not getting hit yourself. There's a gap. Everyone can see that you're hitting your opponent and nothing's coming back. So that's better boxing.
Junior Saba in that Michael Hennessy Jr. corner. And with Paul Coonahan and John Pegg as well.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Obviously all the very necessary protocols, but one of the downsides of them is you do struggle a bit more than usual to hear what's being said in the corner. As long as the fighters can hear.
That's the main thing.
Round 3 then between Michael Hennessy Jr. looking to get back on the winning trail in those white and black shorts against Dale Arrowsmith here. As I said, he's in action again next week, Hennessy Jr. to look to keep him nice and busy in the build-up to the end of 2020.
See, the tactics from Arrowsmith is plain and simple. He's just tucking up, trying to take that jab on the gloves. He knows that Hennessy will come forward eventually, and then he's going to respond with those short and mid-range hooks. It's a clever tactic, really. He's prepared to take this shot, you see. There you go. So he's a tough kid, Dale Arrowsmith. I like the look of him. But Hennessy here, there's an example there, George. He landed some good shots, Hennessy, there, but then just took a couple that he shouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where, you know, the defensive move off your punch, you can stay in range of it, but it just takes your head off the line. It will work time and time again. You know, if you're an opponent and you can't match the guy in front of you for height and reach or for your foot speed, then you have to catch and fire, and that's what Arrowsmith's doing right now. You know, he's waiting until Hennessy has thrown enough shots to leave an opening, and then he's trying to let his power shots go himself.
Having a little bit of success with those as well. He's staying very, very busy in there, Arrowsmith. The better work, though, coming from Hennessy. Of course, no knockouts on the Hennessy Jr. record. He does have that lack of power that I remember we noticed on his debut back in Manchester. And that's always a problem, isn't it? You don't have that in the locker.
Well, that's something he'll obviously work on, but power, you know, you generate power through a number of ways. Sometimes it's technique and how you're boxing, and if you're bringing the opponent onto the shot. If you look at Hennessy Jr. here, he's always on that front foot, isn't he? He's not bringing his opponent onto the shot. He's going forward. The opponent's either static or he's actually moving away from it, and that's difficult then to generate that power. To knock anyone out who's moving away from you is very difficult indeed.
Left hook there from Arrowsmith. And again, a bit more success in this round from Dale Arrowsmith.
Again, it's a competitive fight, you know, fair play. I think Hennessy Jr., George, for me, he hasn't had easy matches, but at the same time, it's a realistic introduction to the pro game.
No, definitely gum shields out.
Yeah, Victor Lachlan will deal with that with seconds remaining. In fact, they're going to call an end to that third round. Slightly unorthodox finish. And just to check both of your ideas of how you would be scoring this. I mean, Hennessy in front, no?
I think he's just ahead myself. But again, I think a lot of the rounds are close, George, aren't they? Because this Arrowsmith, he keeps coming back as well.
Yeah, no, 3 rounds, and I think Hennessy's won the 3 rounds, but you're right. There's periods in the round, and it's his style of fighting that, you know, he's already come unstuck with it. He doesn't finish the exchanges. I think that's very important. So, you know, he'll punch, he'll look good, and then the guy in front of him will let his hands go. He might be hitting gloves, but it looks like he's finished the exchange. He's in control. So if I'm Hennessy, or I'm advising Hennessy in the corner, I'm saying, right, as soon as you've done your good work,
Bonus, 10 seconds.
go double distance. Like use that hand defense, step back, go for a clean separation, and then come again.
Seconds out, round 4.
He's drawing a line under your good work.
Yeah, round 4, scheduled 6 here between Michael Hennessy Jr. and Dale Arrowsmith. We think Hennessy Jr. is in front. Probably won all 3 rounds so far, but the reason that you posed the questions about how close it might be is what's happened to him before in 2 fights. Most important man, of course, is Victor Lachlan in terms of how you're seeing it. Body shot there from Hennessy.
He's just up the tempo here, young Hennessy has. I think Arrowsmith is obviously throwing back, but Hennessy seems to have just upped it slightly. I remember in my early days as a pro, my old man trained me and he used to say, look, don't, with me it was movement of my feet, in and out with my feet. He said, because my dad always said that if you're not there to be hit, it can't be close, can it? If you're hitting him and then you're moving out of range and he's hitting thin, you know, nothing, thin air, then you're winning the contest. I just think that now and again Hennessy gives the referee or the judges just a chance to score for the other guy just because he holds his feet and then he gets caught with a couple of shots around his elbows. He's trying to block them himself, but the occasional shot from Arrowsmith and previous opponents like that. Typical example there, look. did some good work and then just gets caught.
That's good work to the body, though, from Hennessy Jr. He's targeting that in this fourth round. The uppercuts from Arrowsmith, but he landed 3 or 4 really good hooks to the body there, Hennessy Jr. And I think Arrowsmith felt a couple of those, and again.
That was good from Hennessy. Hennessy started to vary the power now as well. So it's not every shot hard. He's knocking Arrowsmith's head back with you know, lighter jabs and then following up with power shots to the body.
Yeah, they like that in the Hennessy corner. A notable change of tempo in this fourth round. And then back comes Arrowsmith. He's not going anywhere.
No, it's a decent match again, isn't it? I mean, Hennessy now is starting to pull it on, turning the screw a little bit here, Hennessy, but Arrowsmith's still in there, still responding. He's been outworked in this round, though, is Arrowsmith.
They fought at quite a lick here. Good test of stamina as well. Caught there, Hennessy just threw those single jabs. This time Arrowsmith was trying to work a little to the body, but it's a good round. Hennessy Jr.'s best round of the contest so far, this fourth.
I definitely think so. I think there's a lot to like about Hennessy. And sooner or later, it might just start clicking for him, and he's going to really jump through the levels. It's like he's got his amateur pedigree, his amateur style that he's now trying to marry up with a new pro style, and he's just got to find his feet, you know, in between that merging of styles.
Yeah, better round for Hennessy. Really up the tempo here. As I say, that just gets caught with that right hand. So Arrowsmith himself, but there's a nice little left hook to the body there. And then, as I say, he holds his feet, Arrowsmith comes back, but it was a decent round, and certainly there was an increase in tempo from Hennessy Jr. Competitive round, but I thought he won that one quite, not comfortable, but it was a better round for him.
Must say, I know he's a pal of yours.
Corners, 10 seconds.
John Pegg is brilliant in the corner, I think. What he says is so much straight talking, common sense. He doesn't complicate the message. Fighter knows exactly what's required.
Yeah, he knows his stuff, Johnny Pegg does. Yeah, very good cornerman indeed. Very calm as well, and precise instructions, and that's what. But there's no real panic in his voice either. That's what a boxer wants to hear.
Absolutely. And we've seen the importance of the corner in a couple of big fights lately. That nice calmness, the clear message, is what's required. Now, can he back up that excellent fourth with a good fifth here, Hennessy Jr.? Straight right hand there from Hennessy Jr. Got a little nod that from Dale Arrowsmith. Good shot.
Yeah, that was good stuff there from Hennessy, because 3 or 4 punches downstairs, then he switches the attack with that right hand to the head. But again, just going through the gears a little bit more again here. I think he's sensing that Arrowsmith may be just weakening a little.
And he's continuing, George, to turn up the pressure here.
No, he is, and he's using lighter peppering shots and then landing a good power shot at the end of it. Good stuff, really good stuff. You know, when you're winning the rounds and the guy's starting to clam up a little bit, this is what you've got to do. You've got to kind of let your hands go more, you know, to force the guy in front of you to let his hands go.
Going back to the point about power, I always remember one of your sayings, Richie, that you grow into your power. Hennessy Jr. is only 21, and he might, with a bit of timing and a bit of growing into it, just start to find that.
Yeah, well, it's all experience for him. He'll learn, you know, you've got to learn from every contest. And again, this is one where he's got to keep asking questions of his opponent, and he's gone through the gears and he's up the tempo. He switched downstairs occasionally with the hooks. Maybe just going to throw a few more feints off his jab. But this is again a dominant round, I think, for Hennessy.
Yeah, He looks the dominant fighter now. Centre of the ring, and he's controlling things. Arrowsmith is, for the first time, just starting to look maybe a little bit sorry for himself here.
It's a decent match, that Hennessy, though, because Arrowsmith has always been in it. He's always come back with some good shots, George, hasn't he? He's a good, solid opponent.
No, definitely. He's very much dangerous, and Hennessy doesn't want to switch off, you know, or start be lured into a false sense of security in this fight. But Arrowsmith is looking to punch off him still.
Yeah, 1 round to go. See if we can listen into Junior Sava and John Beck.
Still on your eyes.
Yeah, decent round, I thought, this from Hennessy. Good combination work there. Just finishes that then with a straight right hand. Lovely stuff. Switches the attack. Then he looks downstairs for the body shots, whipping that right hand in and avoids the left hook.
Enjoy it now, because the box is absolutely great. You feel good. He's tired. Finish with a flourish. The last round's the one they'll remember. Put shots together up and down. Mix them in. Make him miss, power in. Last round, really finish with a good flourish, yeah? You boxed really, really well. Working with, man. Come on, man.
Top boxer, Corners, 10 seconds.
And given what's happened to him
Seconds
before,
out for the 6th and final round.
6th and final round, but no matter how much he's smiling and how well he's boxed, there will just be that little bit of doubt at the back of Hennessy's mind here. Because he thought he won the other 2 fights that he saw taken away from him.
Yeah, I did too. So that's why, you know, Johnny Pegg in the corner there says, you know, finish strong and remember the last round. You know, just end the show here now. Finish the show rather with a good last round. Plenty of work. I think that's what he's got to do here, George, hasn't he? Just put the icing on the cake here.
I think so. It's a learning experience for him as well. So every second matters. Like, this is not a round to waste because you're already ahead on the cards, or you think you're ahead on the cards. That's not a statement.
He's certainly trying to do that. Certainly up the tempo again. He's looking to dig to the body and then the head. Good variation from Hennessy Jr. again.
Let him go, boys. Get
back. Yeah, just held on for the first time there, Arrowsmith.
Like I say, Dave, you learn from these contests against tough opponents. You can experiment with your work. You know, this guy has always been in there and giving it back as well. And that's what you want. You learn from these type of contests rather than hitting guys and them just falling over. This guy's been as hard as nails throughout the night and has always been a threat in there with those combinations that he also throws. So it's a decent workout for Hennessy.
It's only Hennessy's 7th fight, remember. That's a good shot, that right hand. 2 of his wins have come by a single point. It's Alistair Warren and then Tom Brennan. He might end up just having one of those careers. This one, well, he'd be disappointed if it wasn't by more than a single point, because he has been dominant here.
Yeah, there's a good right hand there from Hennessy just earlier, and that's mainly it. Arrowsmith went to throw a shot and he just beat him to the punch. It was a quicker punch from Hennessy that beat him to it and caught him with a good shot. That was George, wasn't it?
It really was, yeah. It went almost through the guard. You can see this round, he's varying the shots, which I like. He's trying to not throw the same shot twice in a row. You know, so he's hit the left hook, right hook, body and head. You're keeping the guy in front of you guessing.
Well, final 20 seconds now. We saw how heartbroken Hennessy Jr. was after that defeat by Jamie Stewart. It's great to see him in there again and showing us something anyway of how good he is and how he's improving, because this has been much, much better, and he should get the result that he wants at the end of it. Good scrap that between Hennessy Jr. and Dale Arrowsmith, but surely Hennessy Jr. has done more than enough.
Yeah, he's won the contest, hasn't he, I think. But it was a good workout for him. He was in against an opponent who took it but also gave it back and made him think. So yeah, I'd be quite pleased with the way Hennessy finished the contest. Arrowsmith was always there, trading with him. but again, he's looking for the body shots. He went through the gears. That's a lovely shot. Just moved out of the way of his opponent's punch and just beat him to it with his own right hand. I'd be pretty pleased, George, in that corner, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. You see the blood on the back of Hennessy's shoulder. That's always a sign that the guy in front of you is a bit marked up, and he's gone in for a breather, and he stuck his head on the back, maybe left his mark. Oh, it's come from the eye, not the nose. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that happened in that final round. That nick on the side of the eye. Well, we're gonna the fighters into the centre of the ring in just a moment. Nice respect between them, and as I said, those nerves will just be fluttering a little bit, but it should be good news this time for Hennessy Jr. Let's hear from our MC, Paul Booth.
The super welterweight contest does go the distance, so our scoring referee, Victor Laughlin, is judging this one. He has the bout at 60 points to 54 points in favour of your winner, Michael Hennessy Jr.